this chapter, we are going to explore the features of soil and its use. We are going to talk about the study of soil as a science, and the soil is not dirt. A lot of people probably think soil is equaling to dirt. It is not. It's like a living organ of the nature and has many functions and supporting many forms of life. And we're going to briefly touch the geologic process of the soil formation and plate tectonics. My emphasis for this chapter is soil weathering and erosion. I definitely require you to understand the difference of the two processes and how soil is formed and transported all over the world. I mean, in the natural process. And the next emphasis I have is soil profile, and I expect you to understand the different layers of soil and their functions. At last, we'll explore the soil conservation practice because the soil erosion is a huge problem. So what we study, why we study soil as a science? It has other complicated names like agronomy and all those complicated names of the soil science. Well, I do not expect you to be a soil expert, but I want you to generally understand as a soil scientist, he studies the soil formation process and categorize the different kinds of soils and studies the physical, chemical, biological, and fertility properties of soils, and cares a lot about the use and the management of soils. And different soil have different soil properties, like different people have different personalities and different talents and gifts. So those talents and gifts are put into different use. So similar speaking, soil is the same way, and different kinds of soil have different applications. If we look at the structure of the earth, it has, I would say, mainly three layers: the outer very thin layer, and mantle, and the inner core. Here, I want you to look at the right side of the slide here, and I want you to pay attention. The outer layer is very, very thin, and then under the outer layer, there's solid mantle and a plastic kind of mantle. That means because of the heat of the core of the earth, this part, the plastic part of the mantle, is flowing, and that is pretty a cool thing because that causes the floating of the different plates on the surface of the earth. And the red line here, you can see with those edges sticking out, that means those plates pushing each other. And you saw those blue lines, those are the different plates we proposed a long time ago. And scientists believe constantly the surface of the earth is moving. And the evidence would be in some area of the ocean, the ship can disappear because of this movement, right? So the current is like this, so that's why the ship is traveling on the surface of the ocean and suddenly it disappears. It's pretty scary, and a lot of horror movies is made on those kind of topics. And the other evidence is in some of the very active area of the surface of the Earth, people actually can see those movements. They could see the houses on that piece of land is moving close to them, but those are the very active site on the surface. And this is a study slide to help you to understand those concepts. And I definitely require you to know plate tectonics is a concept that the outer surface of the Earth is made of large plates of crust and outer mantle that are slowly moving over the surface of the liquid outer metal. And that's the reason the surface is moving. And the heat from the Earth causes the slow movement. It is slow. Sometimes, if we think Himalaya mountains, it's because of the plates pushing each other. That ridge, that mountain is growing like higher each year. We're talking about a few centimeters, and a few centimeters is probably not feelable by most of the people, but thinking about thousands of years and the millions of years, that mountain can get much higher. And of course, because that movement, some of the surface is getting lower. So constantly Earth is changing. And over a long period of time, the difference kind of accumulate. And we will see a lot of change after a long period of time. For example, if we go back here and see this plate over here, I don't know where my cursor is. Oh, here we go. And if this plate is moving towards that way, and actually it push towards this way. So nowadays, we probably take an airplane from North American plate to China, Japanese, and after millions of years, we probably just take a ferry across the water. I want you to go ahead and check out this YouTube video. It's 4 minutes, but it kind of explains why the plates are moving and how it affects the lives on Earth. It is very interesting video. For the time's sake, I'm not displaying here, but please check it out. It will help you to understand the plate tectonics. Now I move into this very important topic. It doesn't mean I will spend a lot of time lecturing on it. I just want to point out the main point because this is an area I see a lot of students struggling and confusing about. So what is weathering? Weathering process is a process of reducing the size of the particles that can be transported. So it is not a process of transportation. We're going to talk about transportation pretty soon. And the weathering does not involve removal of particles, which means it's an on-site process. And the rocks are slowly breaking down. That is the first step, which takes a long time to form the soil. So without weathering, we will not have soil. And again, this is the process that rocks break down into small pieces, and it is the first step of soil formation. And there are 3 kinds of weathering: physical, chemical, and biological weathering.